Hi guys, how are you? My name is Mark Njoroge Mugai. I am an online tutor. I make online tutorial videos. My YouTube channel is official Mark Mugai. Please subscribe. You can also like my page on Mark Mugai, Facebook page on Mark Mugai. Please subscribe. God bless you. So good morning students. Like I promised you that I will make more videos on engineering drawing and design, and now with me here I've also brought in another question that is on to draw and construct a spanner, and this is a sample of the spanner. As you can see also on the picture we have on top there, this spanner is what you're supposed to construct and draw. You're only supposed to draw these curves and these curves. So this question usually comes on tangency questions, and these are combined spanner, chrome vanadium spanner number 30. So you want to construct this spanner as per the question, because we have first to construct it here so that we can go and make the actual spanner. We all know the application of spanners, so please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow keenly what I am doing, so that now you may be able to understand this question. It is usually a 20-mark question. So the very first thing as you do, you again draw a straight line like this. You draw a reference line like that. After you've drawn a reference line like that, you now identify a reference point or a point where you want to construct your work, and this will be our reference point at this particular point here. Let this point be our reference point. So this becomes our reference point. The next very first thing that you do, you want to construct a 60-degree line. You construct a 60-degree line like this. That way, after you've constructed a 60-degree line like that, the very next thing that you do, you look for the measurements. We are told the measurement from the center here, we are supposed to go 20 up and 20 beneath. So we have a distance of 40 centimeters or 400 millimeters. So you measure your 20 centimeters on your ruler like that. Then with these 20 centimeters, stand on this particular point here, then draw a mark here, then stand on the bottom part again, draw a mark like that. So from here we want to construct 30 degrees lines as per the question. As you can see, the question is saying, so to draw a 30-degree line, it is not difficult. You just turn your ruler like that, then standing from this particular point like this, standing on this point, you can now draw your lines like that. Stand on this particular point again. From here, using construction lines, again draw your line like that. Again from this particular point like this, again draw your reference points like that. After you've done that, you've done it very well and very much correctly. The very next thing that you do now, you stand from this point. We are told that the radius of one arc, that is at this particular point, the radius of one arc, this arc here, we are told that this arc here, it is 50 degrees. As you can see, this is 50 centimeters. So you stand on this particular point where they intersect. You see this line where they're intersecting at this point. Measure 50 centimeters on your ruler, or 5 centimeters, sorry, you measure 55 centimeters like this. So using your 5 centimeters like this, you stand on this particular point here, then make a mark here on this line, this middle line, this 30-degree line here. Then at this point here, we know very well that at this particular point here, we are told that there is another arc here, which we are told it is 32 degrees. So you stand on this particular point over here. So standing from this point, first you will draw something like that. Then on the bottom part again, you will draw something like that. So after you have drawn something like that, very correct. Again, we are told that at this particular point here, we are told that there is another arc of 32 centimeters or 32 millimeters or 3.2 centimeters. So this arc and this 50 arc, there's another 50 arc at this particular point where they intersect. They will form an internal, it is a curve and a curve, which are supposed to be internally interlinked. So if they are interlinked internally, you minus. So you will say, using your calculator, you will say that 50 minus 32. What you get? You get that is 18 millimeters. 18 millimeters divided by 10, that will be 1.8 centimeters. So using your ruler again, stand here, get your 1.8 centimeters like that. After you've gotten your 1.8 centimeters from this particular point, stand at this point here that we identified, then strike an arc at this particular point. You see here, where you have struck that point, again, we know that the arc here is 32. So measure the 32. Now double your measurements, measure the 32. The 32 will be at this particular point, like this. That 32 that you have gotten, you now stand on this particular point where you have identified, like this. So from this point now, you draw an arc like this. Draw an arc like that. After you have gotten that point, the very next thing we are told, down here there is another arc, as you can see from the question, that of 38 centimeters, and is linked with this 50 radius. This lane of 50 radius, they are supposed to form it's a curve, and a curve forming an internal curve. So if it's forming an internal curve, you know you minus. So you'll say 50 minus 38. What do you get? You get 12 millimeters. So 12 millimeters, if you divide it, will be 1.2 centimeters. So standing on this point, you measure your 1.2 centimeters like this. You see, after you've gotten a 1.2 centimeters like that, you stand on this particular point, this first point that we identified, then strike an arc on this line like this. You see, where they intersect at this particular juncture here. That's where they intersect. At that point where they intersect, measure again your 38. The radius is supposed to be 38, which is 3.8. So our 3.8 will be at this particular point, like that. Using the 3.8 centimeters, stand on this particular point like this. Stand on where they intersect very much correctly, like that. Then strike an arc like this. Strike an arc like that. So there we have this arc and the other arc. So we are told here there is another arc of 50. So what you do, you will say the 50 is supposed to intersect with this and this. So you say it is forming also an internal curve. So you will say 50 minus 32. First the 32 that is here. First 50 minus 32. What will it be? It will be 50 minus 32. That will be 18. So 1.8. Measure again on your ruler 1.8 at this particular point. This will be our 1.8. As you can see, this is our 1.8. So if it is a 1.8, standing on this point that you plotted your curve, as you can see, again strike an arc on this particular point like this. Strike an arc there. Then on this other particular part, again we are told there is another one that is intersecting at this point, and at this point it is touching this 32, the 38 radius. The 50 is touching the 38 radius, which will form an internal curve. So you will say again 50 minus 38. What do you get? 12. So you'll measure 1.2 centimeters on your ruler like this. 1.2 will be at this particular junction. You see, that is our 1.2 very well. Then standing at this particular point that you drew the other curve, you strike an arc like that. I'll have to extend this one so that the arc can be very clear. Like that. So where they intersect at this particular point, measure 50 on your ruler like this. So you see the 50 where it is. Then at this particular juncture like this, you'll have to link these two like this. So we have gotten the 50, the 32 curve, the 50 and the 38 curve. The very next thing now, you can maybe now thicken, your work so that there can be a clear distinction. Then from this point, join this point and the other point like this. Then from this point and this other point, again join your work like that. Then from this point again, and this at the point, join your work like that. Then maybe you can now decide to stand at this particular point and draw your work and draw your work completely properly. Like that. Like that. Now there we have the head. That is the head now. We have the head at that particular point. As you can see, you have obtained that head. So the very next thing now we want to draw the shank and the curve. The handle, where the handle is, and the curve. That is, we want to draw this handle where we handle this point. This is the handle, and then this curve and this curve. Please follow keenly. So the very next thing that you do now, we are told very well that here we have a shank. Here we have a radius of 15 millimeters, which is like 1.5 centimeters. So measuring your 1.5 centimeters on your ruler like this, at this particular point, this will become a 1.5 centimeters. So using this 1.5 centimeters, standing on this center line here, you see this center line, this line that is straight, the reference point that we obtained, you mark there, then stand here again down here, then make a mark down there like this. Make a mark down there, then stand on a particular point like this. Here again, make a mark up and down, maybe up and down like this. So we are told that the shank or the shaft has a 200. It is 200. It is 200 millimeters, which is like 20 centimeters. So first draw your line like this, then you will measure later on using your pencils like that. So we are supposed to measure 20 centimeters from the middle part, from this part. So you measure your 20 centimeters from there. It will be at this particular point, and your 20 centimeters will be at this particular point. It will be here. So from this particular juncture now, you can now draw your shank. So that has become our shank like that. So at that point, we are told that at this particular point, we are told we have a 15 centimeters 15 centimeters radius. So using your ruler, again, make your mark there, then stand here and draw your 15 centimeters like this. Like that. So there we have achieved our 15 centimeters. That is the handle. Then from there we want to draw this curve here and this curve here. As you can see very well, that this curve from this point here, it is touching the 32 centimeters. So what you do, you will come and say from this particular point, you will say it is forming an external curve. First, you know that this curve, you're told that it is 38. So you first measure 38 on your ruler like this, using these lines. This will be our 38, will be at this particular point. You see, that is our 38 at that particular point. So using our 38, from here you can make a mark like that. You can make a mark like that, like that. Then with your ruler again, standing on this particular point, draw a straight line like this. See, even on the bottom part here, we are told it is 38. So just to save time, stand again on this from this particular point here. So this one will be at this particular point. again, make like that, stand here again, make another one like that, maybe stand here again, make another one like that. So from that rear part, you can now draw another straight line like that. So after you've obtained these two lines, the very next thing we are told that there is a curve here. This curve is touching this line and this arc, and this, so it will be 38 plus 50. It is touching the curve for 50, so it will be 38 plus 50. 38 plus 50 will be 88. So measure again using your ruler from this particular point here, 88. What is our 88? This is our 88 at this particular juncture. Like this becomes our 88. So our 88 from the point which you obtained this curve, this 50 curve, from this point here, that's when now you make a mark on this part. You see here, that's when you make a mark. Then measure again. The curve you're told is 38, so measure 38 again on your ruler, like this. You see, using that 38, stand on this particular point at this particular juncture, like here, then strike an arc like this. This curve and this curve, they're touching each other. So what you do, you want now to put a curve here. So whatever that we will do, we will now add 38 plus 38 using our constructions line. So you can now maybe add 38 plus 38. You add 38 plus 38, that will be 76. So measure 76 on this particular place, stand on this point, measure 76 on this point, like this. So this is our 76, standing on this particular point, then make a mark like that. So we've made a mark here, so this one is not correct. Man is to error. So 38 again, you measure 38 on your ruler. No man is perfect, so we also make errors. So from here again, stand at this particular point juncture, now strike an arc like that. So you see, we have been able to achieve this curve and this curve. So this curve, we achieved it from this particular point. We've been able to achieve it like this, very much correct. So the very next thing now, you wrap these things, the ones that are not so much correct, then you also rub at this particular point. So then you label your work as per the requirement of the question. The question requires us to label our work. This curve was drilled from this point, and this curve was a radius of 38. The same case, you drew this curve from this particular point, again like this, and this was a radius of 38. Then you drew this curve of 50 from this particular point here. This was the radius of 50. Then we drew this curve from this point here, which is a radius of 32. Radius of 32. Then we also drew this curve from which particular point? We drew this curve, this down here. From here, we drew this one, which was 38. Arrows 38. From here to here, we know very well it was supposed to be 40. From here to here, we are told it is 40, like that. Then the shank from the middle, from this point to this particular point, like this, we are told it is 200. So from this point, it is 200. Then from here to here, we are told that the radius is 15. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch more of this. God bless you.